Dylan and Nick.
Hey,
So this is our new podcast called Throwing Spaghetti.
that's a weird name. Why would you call it that?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because when we were talking on the phone about doing a podcast and trying to just whatever. So here's how it went. This is one of many creative endeavors that I've embarked on. And what you said, do you remember what you said?
No.
You said, so are you trying to like be popular with this thing or like take it somewhere? Because that usually doesn't work for you.
I don't remember saying that. No.
That's what you said. And I was like, man, I'm just throwing spaghetti at this point. Just trying to see what works, doing something fun.
Not what works. You're hoping it sticks.
I'm hoping it sticks. Yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah. Sorry.
Do we need a lesson in what you do with spaghetti?
Yeah.
You don't hope spaghetti works. You throw it at the wall to see if it will stick.
If it's high fiber, then you hope it works. If it's whole grain, whatever. That's why we called it that.
Yeah. You're right.
So I said, I'm throwing spaghetti at this point to see what sticks.
Yeah,
so
exactly. So I'm Nick, the higher voice.
Yes. The younger voice.
Younger voice.
I'm Dylan, the older brother, deeper voice.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah. So we wanted to do a podcast because we're brothers.
Mm-hmm.
We grew up pretty much the same way, raised by the same parents.
Yep.
Yet we have extremely different views on
a lot of stuff.
Like everything.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. Everything, you think?
Not everything.
I guess
we
we'll
both
find out.
enjoy Nutella.
Oh.
You won't eat sushi though. And I
No.
love sushi.
I won't eat sushi. No. I don't even know where to go on that.
Okay, so
It's not even a secret that salmon is dangerous, right? It can be dangerous.
it can be dangerous.
high-
You also are a big fan of Chipotle, though. And if you are willing to take the health risk of eating at Chipotle, you should probably just be able to eat some salmon.
I will take, what is it that Chipotle threatens? Is it E. coli or something?
Yeah, E. coli in the pork. Do you not get carnitas?
I don't get pork.
What do you get?
I generally stay away from pork in all settings, unless it's bacon. Like well-cooked bacon.
You're living a sad life.
I usually get a veggie burrito or a chicken burrito. I know.
No. Carnitas bowl, not a burrito.
Okay.
Because what else? You have to get chips, and you can't. If you have a burrito, what are you going to use the chips for? You get a bowl, white rice, black beans, veggies, carnitas, corn salsa, lettuce, sour cream, guac.
Yeah.
You have to get guac.
Uh-huh.
You get a bag of chips, and you eat it with the chips.
I've done that. I've eaten a bowl with chips before.
Carnitas, though.
No.
Not
No,
chicken,
okay, no, so
not veggie.
The carnitas are delicious. I've had them.
So good.
I've had them before. They are delicious, but generally, as a rule of thumb, I stay away from pork.
That's a sad rule. That's
pork and sushi.
That rule is not conducive to a happy life.
It is.
You're not smiling
happy
right now.
Hopefully, worm-free life. I can't say for sure because they can take 20 years they can be in you for 20 years without you knowing. That's what I've read or something.
Okay, fair. I'll live the next 20 years very happily. I'll continue to eat pork.
You'll have one bad day of stringing this thing out of your butt and then go back to it.
Yeah, whatever.
I guess it's a good trade-off. I don't know.
For real. Yes. Try sushi.
No.
Once.
No.
Okay, what about like a California roll is crab meat and avocado?
Is it cooked?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would eat that.
That is the gateway sushi. That was the first sushi that I had, and it made me try sushi with fish in it because it was so good.
There's no way. There's a strict delineation for me between cooked sushi and deadly uncooked sushi. I can do it. You know tapeworms cause epilepsy too, or they can?
No.
Like if I don't remember like the exact Discovery Channel explanation of it, but if young larvae or whatever getting into your intestine, they can burrow into your bloodstream and then go up to your brain, and then your immune system like forms a cyst around it to protect itself, but then you have the cyst in your brain or multiple cysts that can induce epilepsy.
Was that explained correctly?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
It's something like that.
That sucks.
You want some sushi?
I want some sushi. I still want some sushi.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that sparked wanting to have a podcast is because we have very interesting discussions.
Yes.
Not only about sushi and pork.
Yeah.
But about a lot of social, political issues.
Correct.
Because we feel very differently about some things.
We do. Why do you think that is? Before we embark on this, like, hopefully years long project,
Hopefully,
of a podcast,
mm-hmm.
hopefully. Before we embark on that, why do you think? Because we came up in the same way,
mm-hmm.
pretty much, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that we differ so much?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I mean, we're not twins. We might look like it, but we're not. I would expect it if we were twins, because they tend to complement each other in certain ways.
Mm-hmm.
One of those might be sharing different, like, you'll have a twin who's really creative and then a twin who's very logical and not super creative.
Right. Kind of like a yin yang situation.
Maybe it's that because we are so, we're not extremely close in age.
No.
You're just wrong about a lot of things, and I'm right. I think that's the only thing.
No.
Yeah, no, I don't know how we ended up so different. I know.
Here's one thing. So there's a big theory that the type of views that you have
mm-hmm.
are strong in the college community, in the university.
That's true. I was about to say that.
Yeah, and you went to you had like a legit, typical, like expected college experience or however you want to frame
mm-hmm.
it, like 4 years in fraternity and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't. I went to a community college, did the classes that interested me, and then left.
Right. Yeah.
And never left home.
Mm-hmm.
To
yeah,
do it,
that's true. I mean, it doesn't. It's not. Let me start that one over. It's not like that with everyone that goes to a 4-year college, though.
Yeah.
I did go to a liberal arts school, which teaches you to have a worldly view.
Okay.
I also think people start to become a lot more opinionated in those years between 18 and 22.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of where you're finding yourself, and you establish lifelong friendships with people. And I fell into, a group that was very different than some of the other people. I mean, I have a lot of friends from all around the world, and I have a lot of I have a lot of friends from different backgrounds, from Springfield and from college.
Yeah. And
there are people that go to 4-year universities, people that even went to the school that I went to that aren't that way. I don't know how I ended up this way. Sorry.
You are forgiven, I suppose.
Thanks. But I'm not sure why we have different opinions, because we also didn't have the same high school experience, though. It can't just be going to college.
No, I'm just trying to pin down like big differences in our upbringing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's true. We didn't have the same high school experience. I don't know. I guess we're just different. I guess that's the answer for everyone. We're just different people.
Just
different people.
Yeah, leave this off. Being brothers doesn't mean we share the same opinions. It is interesting, though, looking at how we view things like race and ethnicity,
right,
gender equality. We view some of those things differently, which is interesting considering we came from the same background. You would think that we would think the same things.
Right.
It's okay to like different kinds of music.
Yeah.
That's normal.
Especially when it comes to race, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
Because it seems like everyone has their idea of like the insert race experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
The black experience, the white experience
mm-hmm.
in America, or the what, So it's interesting that
mm-hmm.
we look almost like twins, you know, and
mm-hmm.
we have different perspectives on that
mm-hmm.
most of the time. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So,
without further ado,
we're going to hit on our first topic. So as of recording this particular podcast very recently,
not
Nick,
trying to do that in
Nick's
the mic.
doing a line of Coke. You
Yeah, got to get myself pumped for this. Let's go.
So,
Okay.
very recently, as of recording this podcast, I think it was like 3 days ago, this story came out. So I'll just catch you up on what I know.
Yeah.
Or what
I don't.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
I can't say that I know everything about it, but I read one article.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. So, everyone knows about this case with the baker who wouldn't bake the cake for a gay wedding.
Okay.
Everybody knows that, I think.
Yeah,
Or is
that was
aware of that situation.
a couple years ago,
Yes.
I think.
So apparently they won the case. The bakery won the case, and now they're back in court because they refused to bake a cake that represented transgenderism.
Mm-hmm.
And the details of it is, it's a birthday cake for someone who's transgender, but they wanted the cake to represent their transition or their intent to transition or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted the cake to be blue on the outside, pink on the inside, and that was kind of the extent of what the article said regarding how it's a transgender cake.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, the baker refused to do it, saying that it's against his religious beliefs to bake that cake also. So, what do you think about that whole situation?
I don't like this baker. What were the grounds for suing for the first case? What were they suing for exactly? Did they pay?
I believe that the couple sued the bakery.
Did they pay the bakery already? And then he said no? How could?
No, I don't think so.
What were they suing?
They wanted a
For?
wedding cake for a gay wedding,
And he said no.
and he said that he can't participate because it's against his religious
And so
beliefs.
they sued him?
And so they sued him for discrimination. I believe that's like the short version of what happened.
That's interesting.
I don't think there's a right answer to this.
No,
No,
there's not.
Before we sort of like flex up at each other, I don't think there's
I'm flexing.
a clear cut, solution to.
Yeah, there's not.
I mean,
It's sad. Okay, I'll say it's sad. I would not want to be that person who was denied a wedding cake or a birthday cake just based on what someone else thinks of me.
mm-hmm.
That's not very cool. I can understand. At first, I was like, well, how can you really sue them? They didn't, you didn't pay them money. You didn't do whatever. But if a person of a minority race wanted a birthday cake and someone said, no, I'm not making that for you, I don't like black people, that would be a big deal, I think.
Well,
and I don't know why this wouldn't be looked at the same way.
From what I understand, it's not that the guy didn't like gay people, because apparently he had served this particular couple many times for cupcakes or cakes that were not aimed towards a particular ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
It was that he didn't want to contribute to an actual ceremony, to a marriage that went against his religious beliefs. So he didn't have a problem serving gay people. He just had a problem with participating in a ceremony that's against his religious beliefs.
Okay. And you'll have to educate me.
Okay.
What does any particular religion say about being transgender?
Oh, that I don't know. I don't know about that.
So,
but we were talking about the first cake.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that I don't know. But it also doesn't really. So there's a few questions here. It's like it's in our Constitution that we have religious freedom.
Right.
But like you said, what if it's a race thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in this case, the guy didn't agree with the ceremony. Okay, fine. That's in his religion. What if there is a religion? You can just make a religion.
You can, you can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want. So what if you make one that says that you don't like to serve black people? Well, there's already laws in place that say that you have to serve people based on race. You can't deny people based on race. So now we're at this sort of like impasse, where do we go from here with this type of situation? You know what I'm saying? Because like, I don't know I think that it's a Christian baker. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
that anything in the Christian Bible references transgender specifically,
Mm-hmm.
but regardless, if he says that it's his religion,
Mm-hmm. You can't really argue with it.
exactly, you can't really argue with him saying that. But then, by the same token, you can't really argue with an all white bakery saying that they don't want to serve black people because it's against their religious beliefs,
Mhm.
which I think most people would detest, would say that
Right.
that's wrong
That-
and that they should not discriminate on race.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I was saying is like there's no real clean cut answer
Mm-hmm.
to this, because in one vein you undercut religion, but if you go along with that, and if you don't question what he's doing regarding the transgender thing, then and the freedom of religion,
Mm-hmm.
then you also open the door to all these other potentially discriminatory acts
Mm-hmm.
based on quote quote religion.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, I think.
Yeah.
It's all wrong.
What do you mean?
That's what I think. I mean, the thing about being in a private business is that you do, especially if you're successful, you have the right to say no to whoever you want.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, morally, ethically, some of the people you say no to, it might not be right to do that. But
But you still have the right.
you
Is what
have
you're
the
saying?
right to say no. You have the right to turn away clients. You
Right.
do.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a cake baker, I mean, there could have been a multitude of other reasons why they couldn't or didn't want to take on particular clients.
Right. That's true.
And I'm sure that could be why he won the original case.
Yeah.
Maybe he had a higher paying client for the same day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a perfectly good reason. If I'm running a business and I have one client who's willing to pay more, I'm going to take that client.
Yeah. That's not what he said though.
That's not what he said. It was all religion?
Apparently. I mean,
Well, dang.
if it wasn't, I would assume that when they took him to court, he would just say, "Oh, well, I just had a higher paying client." And that would be that. Case
That's
closed.
true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they seem to have stuck with the position that it was against religious freedom, which is true. It is against religious freedom
You can't.
to force them to do that.
Yeah,
I
you
would
can't
say,
make him
know?
do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But where does okay, so let's say this baker was hired to bake a cake for a couple expecting a baby to reveal the sex of their baby.
Okay.
You don't know, the baker doesn't know what kind of person that child will become. You don't know what they're going to identify as. But that baker would still probably make a cake that's blue on the outside and pink on the inside for the couple to cut it open and see that it's pink. Oh, yay, we're having a girl.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I
what?
think I missed. Can you
Well,
start over?
then cut that out.
Okay.
Cut it out.
I think I missed where you were going with it. Okay, so you're saying
I'm
that,
saying that you don't know how that baby will identify in the future. And saying that you're having a girl doesn't mean they're going to identify as a girl. You don't know what gender.
Did we skip to transgender?
We're skipping ahead to the case that's happening right now. We
Okay.
covered.
But this isn't for a kid though. In the case, it's
I know.
okay.
But it's the same thing. You're revealing a gender in both situations. One's by choice and one is assigned. What?
Okay, and what's your point?
I'm saying the baker would probably do it for a gender reveal party. It seems like. They just
Well,
seem
okay.
like that kind of person.
So let me make this clear. So, like I was saying, I think before we started, there's a clear cut case for the wedding cake, right? The
Yes.
ceremonial
Okay.
participation.
Sure. Whether, I mean, I don't think it was right, but he has the right to do it.
He has a right to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this just like people like to crap on Christianity too. This would apply to any religion. There's lots of religions that have restrictions on different things, and it's like, I don't know. I feel like maybe I have a chip on my shoulder, but I feel like it wouldn't be quite so blown up in the media if it was a different religion involved stopping someone from refusing to serve someone based on
Maybe.
a religious right. Maybe I'm speculating, but anyway, regarding the transgender case with this cake. Okay, so if I was talking to this baker, I would say, okay, no one can tell you that you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
No one can tell you that you don't believe in this and that you have to serve these people. But it's important, I think, in people's beliefs to be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like, where do you draw the line? Because, like you said, I don't think there's like a written specific thing about transgenderism in the Bible. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I need to educate myself more. But if you take that position, it's like, where do you go? So I was telling someone else, what if someone came in and they said, I want a birthday cake for my son. I want it to be Batman cake.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Batman beats the crap out of people.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kills people sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it represents a guy who
Mm-hmm.
breaks the law on a daily basis and bloodies up a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And he's his own judge, jury, and executioner.
Mm-hmm.
Is that in line with Christian faith? Are they going to deny that too? So it's a slippery slope, I think. So that's what I would tell them is like, are you willing to go down this slippery slope? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Or,
you can't just pick and choose.
right, exactly. You kind of have to be consistent with how you apply your beliefs to each cake,
Mm-hmm.
I would think. And I would say it's fine. Like I said before, there's a case to be made for wedding cakes. Okay, but it's kind of like there's wedding cakes in that
Mm-hmm.
little box of things they will or won't do
Mm-hmm.
because it's a spiritual thing. Now this other stuff, I don't know. I think it's getting a little weird.
Yeah, that's too much. I mean, like I said, okay, maybe I jumped ahead with
Okay.
what I was trying to say.
Okay.
I think it's more applicable now. In the spirit of being consistent, if you would make a cake to reveal the gender of your baby, why not be okay with making a cake to reveal the gender of an adult?
Because in the case of the baby, that is probably, I'm assuming, in line with their beliefs that you're born a certain gender and that's what it is. What they're saying they don't believe in is choosing your gender, pretty much.
Right, but anything can happen after that baby's born.
They don't believe that's valid, though, it seems.
No, but I'm saying they can make... Okay, anything can happen after the baby's born, meaning that baby can be born and that child can, from almost birth, feel like the other gender. They already made that cake for them. Do you know what I mean?
So they're like,
cut the whole section out. Just not making sense.
I don't think so. What are you saying, that they like get baited and switched into making a transgender cake without knowing it because
I'm saying that they could make a cake for someone who is transgender. They just don't know because they're not born yet.
Okay, well, you could say that they serve transgender people, but just don't want to make a cake that celebrates it. Maybe that's the case they're making.
So, did the baker say, "I'll make you a different cake"?
I mean,
I'll do something else.
Well, like with the gay couple, apparently he or she had served them many times on non-sexually charged cakes. You know
but
they like
a wedding is not any sexually charged.
Well,
that's not.
What I meant by sexually was like orientation.
Okay.
Or anything like,
But they could have gone to that baker for cupcakes before,
right,
and decided to get married that day that they got the cupcakes.
They could have, yeah. But that's
and had a big party to celebrate their wedding.
Yeah.
Maybe they ordered things from that baker on their anniversary.
Yes. But at that point, if that's the case, the baker doesn't know what the cupcakes are for.
Well, then that should be a lesson for the baker. I think.
So what you think?
He has the right to do whatever he wants. But to you, Mr. Baker, that should serve as a lesson to just accept people, because if you've served these people multiple times, you very well could have served them on a wedding that they already had. You could have served them on their anniversary. But you could have served them, and then they got freaky that night with your cupcakes.
But here's the difference. Just because it might have happened unbeknownst to him doesn't mean he has to willingly participate in it when it is made apparent to him.
Right, but it's like if you know someone for 20 years.
Yeah.
And after knowing them for 20 years, they come out to you. You really, if like they're your best friend.
Yes.
You're really going to be like, bye.
That's not what he did.
If I would have known before, I wouldn't have been your friend.
That's not what he did. He's not saying I'm not going to serve them, and now that I know that they're gay, I'm not going to serve them. No, he's saying they're gay. I knew that. I will be happy to serve them then and now. I'm kind of putting words in his mouth, I suppose, but I'm just saying
you're about to get sued. He's going to sue you, and he's going to win.
The claim that he made was that it wasn't that he had an issue with serving gay people. It was that he had an issue with contributing to a particular type of ceremony, which goes against his spiritual beliefs, his religious beliefs.
Yeah, but
so that's different.
That's also the argument about being consistent, because just being gay in general is against his beliefs.
Yeah, but his artwork that he's giving to them, like his craftsmanship that he's preparing, doesn't necessarily celebrate being gay or not being gay, unless it's a wedding cake that goes to a ceremony that celebrates a union of two gay people. So,
I mean, there's probably a lot of straight people at the wedding eating the cake.
Okay.
So
all
maybe
right.
he just shouldn't make the top tier.
Oh, gosh.
Make the rest of it for the guests and just make them a cake a couple weeks before that they can just take with them.
So so you have qualms with both cakes, both situations.
Yes.
Both cakes.
As a decent human and as a business person.
Oh, come on now. Decent human? No.
Why?
Decent human? You're going to apply a decency to being religious or not being religious?
It's not about being religious, not being religious. It's, okay, Christianity might have something against same-sex relationships. It also has a lot against judging people.
Yes.
You like just like you said, being consistent. That's not right. You can't pick one thing in your religion and stick to it, especially when it goes against something else.
Are you saying that he was judging them?
Yes.
I wouldn't say that he was judging them.
I would say he's judging them.
I wouldn't say that.
Yes, I think so.
Why?
Because if someone comes to him, they want him to make their wedding cake. He's saying no, and it's based on his judgment. Is it not?
No. Well, I guess you have to define judgment, because a lot of what it says in the Bible is judgment. Like, don't assume that anyone's going to heaven or hell. Pretty much, like you don't have the capacity to judge that. Pretty much. I think, and it's also kind of like, don't assume that you're better than anyone else, which is something that a lot of Christians miss.
Aren't you also supposed to know that everyone sins? You should forgive people.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and if you think
So,
that...
Is he supposed to forgive them for getting married before they're married and toss his hand in with the sin and then forgive them after? Or?
Hold on. Wait, if he doesn't even recognize their marriage as real...
Yeah.
Then how can he be like, I'm not going to make you a cake for your wedding?
I don't know.
If he didn't recognize it as real, wouldn't he just be like, I'm not going to... I'll make you this cake, but you're not getting married? I don't know what you guys think you're doing in your dresses, but you're not getting married. That's for sure.
I suppose that's a perspective he could have taken. It probably would have been an easier one to take.
Yeah.
That's probably something you have to ask him. I'm kind of...
That is the decent human part about it. I don't like that, regardless of what religion, people do not take in every aspect and use it and for good all the time.
What?
Because
I was gonna respond, but I'm not sure what you even said. People do not take aspects in and then for good instead.
They cut it out, please. I just peeked.
Yeah, you peeked a little bit. It's
Okay.
Am I
people
peeking? I'm
tend
not peeking, am I?
no.
Okay.
People tend to not.
Next topic.
People tend to not listen to every part of their religious text.
For sure.
And
It's
I
also-
don't think it's right to pick and choose. Like, you should, regardless of religion, you should be able to see the good in people. You should want to help people.
Yeah.
And when you take religion into it, he could have just as easily been like, I don't agree with what you're doing, but who am I to judge you?
It's complicated though, because I'm sure everyone knows that there's a billion different ways to interpret the Bible. So who
Yeah.
knows how this guy's particular interpretation lined up? Which kind of takes us back to one of the first points, was like, no matter how we cut and slice the Bible and what he should have done, how he should have read it, and how he should have applied it to his actions, we can't say that it's not his religion. Like, whatever brand he decides to adopt is his religion, pretty much.
Right.
Regardless, like, we're sitting here like trying to dissect the meaning of judgment and the meaning of what Christians should and shouldn't do. It really doesn't have any like impact on whether or not he should have made the cake, legally speaking, because his religion is what he says it is.
That's true.
Which takes us back to the sort of like, it's I don't know. There's no winning, because
Okay.
you could apply that to a racist as well,
Right.
And like I said, everybody would hate that.
Well, take a step back
Okay.
from religion. Look at it as an American business person.
Yeah.
First of all, it's bad for business to be that guy.
But it's his business.
It's his business, but I'm saying as a business person who cares about making money, I feel like that was the wrong move. He could have just done it. Anyway, but also as an American, we should believe everyone's created equally. We all have the same rights. And while we have not historically really followed that, we have tried to make up for that recently with those laws. 50 years ago,
What laws?
same-sex marriage.
Oh, okay.
But 50, 60 years ago, civil rights movement, we ended segregation. We ended legal segregation.
Oh boy.
And just, 10 years ago, we said same-sex marriage can be determined by states. Is that what the law is? It was legal for it to be a thing. But it didn't make it legal everywhere.
Right.
But anyway.
But it is now, right? Is it federal law now? I don't know.
We're going to look like idiots.
We need
No, we're not going to look like them. We're going to sound like them.
we need like an assistant to like look up this stuff as we
for
go.
real. Anyway, backtrack. Take out the last 15 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
Civil rights movement ended legal segregation 60 years ago. We're trying to make up for the whole, everyone's created equally, but we didn't really follow that for a long time. And then just a few years ago, same-sex marriage became legalized.
What are you, 13?
God.
Became legalized.
Anyway, so as an American, we should be able to recognize that, I think.
I mean, but no, wait, this is the complication of how free America is, which I have no qualms about. So, America's awesome. And the freedoms that we have are rare around the world,
Mm-hmm.
I would say. It's awesome. But it does come with the freedom to be an a-hole. You know what I'm saying? And
That's true.
I think you're kind of idealizing people in that, saying that, like expecting people to hold that vision that you have,
Mm-hmm.
that everyone's created equal. I mean, and I'm not saying that he's saying that gay people are not created equal. That may not be what his position is.
He does not. He clearly does not agree that they have equal rights.
That's not true.
How?
That's not true. He's not saying you don't have a right to this cake. He's saying that I can't participate because of what I believe to be true.
And does he believe that they shouldn't have the right to be married?
I don't know his belief
It sure
on the
sounds
right
like
to
it.
be married. Well, he could also take that position that it's not a real marriage, like you were saying earlier.
Right. So then why
I
not just
mean-
make a three-tiered cake for a party?
I don't ask him. I don't freaking know.
I think I want to.
You want his Twitter handle?
Yeah. Yeah, I want to tweet this guy and be like, who are you?
So here we are on the wedding cake. What about this transgender cake? Did we conclude on that?
Yeah, we
that-
concluded.
that
He's
maybe
wrong. He
it's-
should have just done it.
But I think we
But-
also said that he doesn't have to do it.
I mean,
And
no.
where do we go from? And where do we
No.
go from there?
No, yeah. And this is where we differ, I think.
Hmm.
Maybe. So I was a wedding photographer
Right.
for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a same-sex couple. Their first message to me was, do you photograph same-sex weddings?
Yeah.
I was like, yes, of course. What? Like, what? What do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a wedding photographer. I photograph weddings.
Right.
Just weddings.
Right.
And so she was like, wow, that's so refreshing to hear. I'm like,
Mhm.
dang, have you really been turned down by people? Like, that sucks. That really sucks.
Yep.
So I see people as just people. I'm not saying that that's where we differ. I know you see people as people. But,
okay. I was about to let's reach across this table.
but I mean, I didn't feel like I had any right to. I know I do legally have the right to deny any client that I want.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like I had the human right to say no.
But you might have the religious right to.
Maybe. I don't know.
Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
It's weird, man.
It's weird.
It's weird. I think that this type of area is going to be in flux forever and ever and ever.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I don't know. In a free world, I think you run into that type of stuff. Because if you're, like I said, if you're free to be a hole.
You know, I watched this video.
And not saying that this guy's an a hole. I'm just saying, like,
I mean,
I don't know. I'm only reading articles on the internet.
I don't know everything about him, but I'm going to go ahead and err on the side of a-hole for him. I don't like you, Mr. Baker. I don't know who you are. You might be a very charitable guy.
Gosh.
But, man, you have sucked twice now.
No, come on.
I think
No.
it sucks. I think it sucks. It sucks to be that way.
Okay, so what are you going to do with religious freedom then? You think we should do away with that?
No.
What are you going to do with it?
I'm just
I
saying.
mean, he's within
just
his right to do that.
be nicer.
Who said he wasn't nice?
I mean, that's not nice.
How do you know he wasn't nice? He
They
might
just
have been
wanted
really,
a cake. They just wanted a cake to enjoy.
He might
for
have been
their
really,
wedding.
really nice about it, though.
There is no nice about that.
Sure there is.
There is no nice about
sure
that.
there is.
No.
Sure. What if someone came up to him and was like, I want a stripper cake for my orgy. I want an orgy cake. You know? Like, no one would bat an eye at him denying that based on his religious belief. Nobody would. It would not be blowing up BuzzFeed for that. You know what I'm saying?
That doesn't mean that it was nice.
Would he be an a-hole for denying that, though?
I don't know. What kind of stripper cake are we talking? Like one with a stripper inside? Maybe that's beyond the scope of what he can do physically. Maybe he doesn't have an oven big enough.
No, not a stripper inside. Just, I don't know, to celebrate the orgy. Right? With just like genitalia all over the cake.
Well, that's obscene.
So, Oh, you're going to judge these people and say that what they like is obscene? How dare you? How dare you, sir?
Okay, but this, like the wedding cake or the transgender cake, is especially with a wedding cake. That wedding cake could have been exactly the same as everyone else's wedding cake.
Yeah.
And he said no because they were two women getting married. The obscene orgy cake does not apply because it's not like he's denying certain people orgy cakes. He's denying all orgy cakes. Like,
right, people who like and just
they are different. They look different. If you put penises all over a cake, that's not the same.
I want to clarify something. I'm not what's the word? Is it correlating? I don't know. I'm not saying that gay people automatically like orgies or orgy people are gay. I'm not saying that. I'm
Just a disclaimer.
Just a disclaimer. I'm giving an extreme example to hopefully drive a point.
Oh.
But no, to jump to it and say that he's a a-hole for it, I think is hasty.
Okay.
For that.
Okay.
He might be a a-hole. I don't know.
Okay.
Just saying.
Maybe it was an a-hole-ish thing to do.
Maybe not.
Maybe I think so. I think it was.
Okay.
Whether he was, quote, nice about it.
Yeah.
To me, there's no nice way to do that. There's no nice way to deny someone something based on their sexual orientation.
Sure, there is a nice way to do it.
I don't think so.
You could just be nice about it.
No.
Yeah.
Because to me, the act of denying it is not nice.
Wrong.
No, not wrong. I said
it
to
could
me.
Be wrong. Okay, so to you.
Me.
Okay, fine. Well, I know I know one gay person who has my perspective on the thing. And if they were denied something based on a religious belief, to be like, okay, I understand. And they would go somewhere else to get their thing.
That doesn't mean that he thinks it's right for them to do that. Doesn't mean he takes it in a nice way.
Well, that doesn't mean that he thinks that he's an a-hole.
Okay, well, he doesn't speak for all the gay people.
I know that.
Or the straight people. I'm a straight man, and I'm offended for these people. Come on.
Oh, boy.
To me, I completely understand someone who doesn't see like the way that I do would think there's a nice way to do it.
Sure.
To me, I think denying them that in itself is not nice.
It's just a-hole-ish.
Yes.
Okay.
I do think that.
I disagree.
I know.
Oh, I disagree that it has to be inherently a-hole-ish.
Okay.
It could be done nicely. So we're going to take a quick break here because my audio track's about to run into another audio track that I forgot to delete.
Oh, my God.
So you are listening to... What is it, Nick?
We're hoping it sticks. I just peeked again.
Gosh. Throwing spaghetti. Learn how to talk into Mike.
God.